what was on my mind when I ran up the street and started standing underneath the trees with all these crews in the bucket trucks, and getting ready with chainsaws, cutting them down, and I just stood right below the first tree. Is to be honest with you, I really was not thinking. I just knew that I did not want them to cut down these trees, and that's the only way I could stop them at this time, was to literally stand in the way, lean against the tree, stand right underneath them, and that's the only way I could stop them. They had already topped one tree off at the very top of the hill, and I wasn't able to stop that one. And so when they started on the second group of trees, I had ran down there and I had stood underneath that group. And then they went to a second group of trees to get away from me. I ran down to that group of trees, tried to get away from them. Then they went to another group of trees. And so each time I stood right directly underneath the trees, and eventually they had to call it and move on. The history on these trees are from the 1910. So they're well over 100 years old, 110 years old now, and they're part of OB history. They're a part of iconic OB, part of our beach town. People drive into OB and know us for our tree-lined streets. And I just don't believe that when the city says that they're going to replace the palm trees with leafy trees that are indigenous to San Diego, I don't believe that any of the trees that they cut down so far have been replaced. I haven't seen it so far. Throughout the emails, we had CC'd in our local representative, Jen Campbell, and also Todd Gloria, Jen Campbell's assistant, which would be Mr. Martinez, and various multiple times, more than 10 emails out there to each of them, multiple, and to no avail. No one in either office had gotten back to us. And what I think about her not getting back with us or representing us in this matter or any of the other matters is I was wondering if we should put a missing persons ad out in the newspaper, because I don't know where she's at. I've never seen, no one's seen her around lately. So I'm wondering if she's a missing person. And I'm not this big tree hugger either. I'm just someone who lives here on the corner in the neighborhood, and this came into my front yard, and I just had to stop it. You know, big government is doing stuff, and when it hits your front lawn, you gotta stop it. And it was something that I could stand in front of with chainsaws and all running up above my head, and it was something I could stand underneath and actually stop. They come out with bucket trucks. I'm still willing to go underneath the tree, stand underneath the tree, even if the police come and they cite me or whatever they do to me, I'm willing to go and stand underneath that tree still. And whatever they do to me, they will do, because I'm not going to allow them to cut down these trees until we get a solid explanation of the reasoning why, and if it's due to the FAA and the planes not being able to navigate their way in here, or if it is what I personally feel is that the city is just tired of doing the maintenance on the trees and getting lazy. They don't want to pay the money for the cleanup, and I think that the soonest way they could cut down one tree, or any way they could start cutting them down, they're going to go for it. And it's going to start on our block, and it's going to go down the hill, and it's going to continue all the way up Santa Barbara. You know, if you are interested in help saving these trees, we are going to get some things going on together. You will be notified via next door neighbor and everything else, and help us with stopping them cutting down these trees. We need to stop them from doing this.